This is Colonel Tracy Roberts, your pastor of prosperity, with words of wisdom and nuggets of knowledge. And now, speaking about the Declaration of Independence, here is one of my all-time favorites, and that is Thomas Jefferson. He is on the $2 bill, and there's an interesting thing about Mr. Jefferson. He had a brilliant mind. If you ever talked to Thomas Jefferson and we were speaking about architecture, then by the end of the conversation, you would know for a fact that he was the greatest architect ever. If you were talking about planting fields and harvesting, then you go, this guy is the horticultural specialist of the world. If you were talking about the Bible or scriptures, then you would know at the end of that conversation that he had to be a preacher. No matter what he was talking about or what subject you wanted to speak about, he knew everything about everything. He studied all the time. As a matter of fact, it was his library that started the library that we have that is now the National Library, and it was because he sent wagon loads of books to start up that National Library, one that is an envy of all of the world. And I love Thomas Jefferson. Now, a funny little story is there was a meeting, President John F. Kennedy, he had a meeting with all of the Nobel laureates. Now, these are the smartest people in the whole world. I mean, in science and art and peace and all of these things. And they're assembled in the White House all together. And President Kennedy gets up and he looks at them and he says, I believe that this is the greatest assemblage of minds that has ever been in the White House. And all these Nobel laureates are puffing up their chests and they're going, yes, we are the smart. Yeah, hey, you know I'm smart. I know I'm smart. You know I'm smart, and I know I'm smart too. And so they're all puffed up whenever he said that. And then President Kennedy paused for a minute. And he said, other than when Thomas Jefferson dined alone. He was so smart that he was smarter than the whole group of those fellas when he was all by himself. And I love Thomas Jefferson. And as I said before, when he wrote the Declaration of Independence for the first time in human history, he penned this idea. He put an idea from the brain and put it on the paper, and it was that we are all created equal. That we are created by a creator, that we're actually created. And at that moment in time, what he did was he put a cancer into the idea of inequality. At that moment, slavery was dying. It had to die because he had written down for the world to see that all men are created equal. And so some years later, when the great emancipator came along and said, we can't have this anymore, then it was because Thomas Jefferson had penned the power of the words. There's power in your words. There's power in all those things. And now we're getting down to one of my favorites of all, and that's General Washington. If you ever come to my house, you might find some paintings of General Washington. I love him. Now, this is the man that could be king. They wanted to make him the king after he won the Revolutionary War. General Washington said, no, I'd rather just live at my house and just do some things. And every time he got comfortable, then his country called on him, and he came back to the service of his country. The man who could be king and chose not to be, he chose to set up a government that would be a republic, a government that would be ruled by law and not by men. And for that, I love General Washington. I love him. And so now you've been introduced to some members of my board of directors as far as finances go. And you'll be able to see that and learn more about the board of directors at another time. But can you see how the power of becoming friendly with these fellows? And if you look on there, if you look, what you'll find is you'll find that they've got ears and they can hear. And when you've got ears and you can hear, then you want to talk nice to these individuals. Now I'm going to give you a little exercise because this is a fun exercise. Some of you might think this is a little bit kooky, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. You can actually talk to these fellas. You can write letters to them. And this is an exercise of the mind, but you're writing a letter to them that says, hey, Dr. Franklin, I would love to come visit you. I want to come play with you. I would love to participate in you. And then you can stop and take a minute, and then you can start writing again. And you can see what Dr. Franklin has to say to you. Sometimes some of these fellows, they might say, why you want to come play with me? I don't even know who you are. I'm not sure that I want to be your friend. I've heard you talk bad about money. I'm not going to hang out with you. So getting right with money is one of the ways that you and I can make the world a better and a more powerful place. So this is the idea of money, friends, is right here. So here's the exercise. Now you can do the exercise, the mental exercise, but here's what I'm going to encourage you to do. For $188, that's $188 represented right there, you can have all of money. Now why do you want to have all of money? Watch this, watch this. Have you ever had the idea in your mind that you didn't have enough money? Well, if you have had that idea, I don't have enough money, then with $1, one George Washington, you can look at it, you can pull him up, you can look at him and look, and when your mind, because your mind, one of the things with your mind is it works for you and it tries to show you everything to keep you alive. So if my mind, have you ever had the moment where your mind said, I don't have any money? Okay, if you've ever had that thought, then with $1, all I have to do is pull this out, and look at it, and God we trust, and some other good things on there. And now I can ask my question to my mind and say, mind, you said I don't have any money. I find this interesting. And then if your mind's anything like mine, then it'll say, oh, great, you've got $1. Have you ever experienced that? Well, and if it says that to you, then you might look at it and go, okay, well, I've got $1. But it now cannot have that lie that you don't have any money. So I'm going to encourage you to always keep some money, some amount of money on you so that your mind can never say, I don't have any money. And then you say, have you ever had your mind say this to you? Well, you've got $1, but you don't have enough money. Have you ever had that? Have you ever had your mind say, I don't have enough money? Here's why you're going to do it. When you have all of these, then what I do is I just lay them out. I lay them out before me, and I look at them. And I say to my mind, you said I don't have enough money. Now I'm asking you a simple question. Which one don't I have? And then the mind's going to go, well, but I say, no, just answer this question. Which one don't I have? And then the mind gets to concede something. It gets to concede that you have all of them. What, mind? What did you say? You have all of them. So you're saying that I've got all of money. And the mind concedes that you do indeed have all the money because I've got each one of them. And when that occurs, now my mind has to go to work for me instead of against me. Because my mind will say, when I have a question about finances, my mind can't say you don't have any money or you don't have enough money. Now it actually goes to work. And it helps me find the solution to the problem. If we were talking about just the mind, then there's places back in the back part of your mind. One of them's called the reticular activating system. And that particular system, its purpose is to tell you what's important and what's not important. and it will bring up evidence, and it'll show you things. And so anytime that you're programming or reprogramming your mind for a new idea, it's going to test and it's going to challenge you. And with money, that's why I like to keep them in my pocket, because I can keep them and I know that I've got all of money with me. And so when I ask a question, then my mind goes to work for me and not against me. And I'm able to get what I need to get in that very moment in time. So your challenge is to get some money first. And as soon as possible, I'm going to encourage you to gather Ben Franklin, Ulysses S. Grant, Alexander Hamilton, and I just skipped over Andrew Jackson. Didn't mean to. Sorry, Colonel Jackson. I didn't mean to skip you over. And Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, and George Washington. To have all of them with you, keep them on your person. And what you're going to find is you're going to find with a very little amount of money, that $188 is going to act like a lot more money for you. Because now you've got all of money. Your brain will go to work for you when you have challenges, questions on should I spend this or should I buy that. Then when you've got all of money, your brain will help you, and you don't have to live in a place in the past of fear of not having enough in the past or in the future with the anxiety of will I have enough for then. So here, that's your assignment for today, is to keep some of your money friends with you and keep them always on your person so that you can teach your brain that they are your friends and that you have all of money. By having all of money, you can go anywhere you want. You can do the thing that you were put on this earth to do and make the world and this planet a better place. God bless you as you bless others. And remember, live in purpose and on purpose always. Money is your friends. We'll see you. I love you. Bye.